Hello, welcome to Reporters here on France 24. I'm Rochelle Harrison-Pless. Thanks for joining us. Calls for a crackdown on US gun laws are growing louder in the wake of the country's latest mass shooting at a high school in Florida where 17 people lost their lives. Leading the charge are student survivors from that massacre, young people who say never again as they demand tighter gun regulations. They've taken their fight to Washington as they pile the pressure on US lawmakers to do more. But as they rise up and speak out, do they have the power to bring about gun reform in a country that loves its firearms? This report from Sophie Prichodny and Flora Despont.
These angry young Americans want to be heard by the White House. They're between 14 and 18 years old, and they're all survivors of the Parkland high school shooting in Florida.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause. Are that we are demanding change. We have stared down the barrel of an AR-15 ourselves, so they don't need to tell us that we don't know what we're talking about. We're just trying to, not let 17 of us get shot in the fucking face again.
It's a first in the history of mass shootings in the United States. These students are taking unprecedented action. They're determined to push for change in the American federal law that authorizes carrying firearms.
No more. No more. No more.
These high schoolers have begun a nationwide movement in the U.S. Just like the Me Too movement, they've launched a hashtag, Never Again, a slogan that has gone viral, and with which Tyra, 19 years old, wants to convince the government.
We are fighting for the right for my friends. We are fighting for the rights of every other student, every other family that lost their friends, their families, not just Douglas, any other school shooting. We are done with this. We are done. We are tired of the crying. We are tired of the pain. We want justice.
Do you think politicians in Florida are ready to hear what you have to say?
I don't care. They're gonna hear me. They're gonna listen. If I have to jump over wires, if I have to get arrested for them to hear me, I will make sure that my voice, as I stand on these 2 feet on this floor, my voice will be heard.
The high schoolers are going to meet their representatives and will try to put pressure on the American president. They hope for an unprecedented decision, a national restriction on selling firearms in the country. On February 14th, the 3,200 students of the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School lived a nightmare. A young man armed with a machine gun hunted down the students in the middle of the school day. Some of them filmed the scenes with their cell phones. The casualty toll, 17 dead and 15 injured. The shooter was Nikolas Cruz, here at the moment of his arrest. A few hours after the shooting, friends and family of the students heard the news. At the time, no one knew exactly what was happening. Cora Journey's son is one of the survivors.
I was very blessed. He texted me and he said, "Mom, I'm in the band room and we're hiding. We're hiding by the lockers. There's 70 of us." And he said, "I can hear the noise. I can hear the noise outside. There's a lot of noise."
Her son was able to escape, but his best friend Joaquim, on the other hand, lost his life in the shooting. The students are still in shock. This high schooler witnessed everything, but he's afraid to speak out in front of the cameras. He shows us, though, the moment when the police squad came to free him. He had never been so scared.
Hands up! Hands up! Hi! Is anybody in here injured? Don't put your phones down! Don't put anything.
The student knew Nikolas Cruz very well. He remembers an aggressive young man, always looking for a fight.
He's a psychopath, we all know that. So none of us hung around him. He was just that kid. And then, he got expelled last year and then this happened, so.
Nikolas Cruz, who is 19, was hated by his peers. Everyone described him as violent. He often came to school armed with a gun and was expelled for a lack of discipline. He didn't hesitate to post videos on social media showing off knives and guns. Today, he's in prison, waiting to stand trial. Until now, Parkland was known as one of Florida's safest cities. Sheltered in houses monitored with security systems, this used to be a peaceful and unremarkable home to 30,000 inhabitants. In the aftermath of the shooting, all the students, parents, and relatives came to support each other in front of the school. Now, anger is on the rise. Posters reading "Never Again" have appeared on every corner. Tyra, the high schooler we met before, is also here to protest. She saw her teacher die in front of her. He sacrificed his life to save his students.
Easy, bro. I feel like I'm in a dream. Trained to do the procedure. We know that once you hear the alarms go off, you're supposed to turn off the lights, push and make it look like there's no actual activity in the room, because you have to make it look like everyone's left the room. But I just ran on my instinct. I knew I couldn't stay in the room. I was scared for my life, and I just ran. That's what I. Can I give you a hug? Thank you.
The students are surrounded by journalists and television cameras, so they take the chance to express their exasperation.
How is a kid with autism allowed to get this kind of gun? He shouldn't, and that's
It's the first time that U.S. students have taken this kind of political action on politics in the aftermath of a mass shooting. They use the hashtag #NeverAgain. And one of the faces of the movement is Emma Gonzalez. By speaking out, she sparked national awareness of the need to better regulate the sale of guns.
But we need to pay attention to the fact that this isn't just a mental health issue. He wouldn't have harmed that many students with a knife!
The Parkland school shooting is the 18th so far in the U.S. this year. Last year, almost 350 mass killings were recorded. It's just too much for the young students of Parkland, who do not intend to stay on the sidelines. A few days after the tragedy, they take advantage of a public holiday to organize a gathering at the beach. Tyra was determined not to miss this event.
I'm with all my senior classmates. We're here today honoring all the lost ones at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting, and we're just gonna live for him and enjoy our day for him.
They're having fun, laughing, and supporting each other in memory of their friends. They were all especially close to one of the victims, Joaquim, who died in the shooting.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's okay because they were my friends.
My friend, my buddy, my brother, he's been with me since 4th grade. 4th grade, and today I'm celebrating life for him. And he knows that we're gonna live our lives happy, and we're gonna be all right, everyone. If Trump doesn't do anything, if nobody does anything, we'll make sure we will do something. Stoneman Douglas will do something.
What do you want to do? What are you going to do?
Eliminate all gun laws. Gun laws should only be to the police force and to the military, and that's it. And that's it.
That's it?
This is a generation in shock, plunged headfirst into the national debate.
It's just not fair how I have to, in order for me to buy a drink, I have to be 21, but I could be 18 to go buy something to kill you.
But like, if he was mentally ill, if he doesn't do anything, we're not going to be able to like go back to school because nobody's going to be safe.
We don't know how to be quiet. We're not silent. What he did woke up a new beginning. It woke up a whole new start. We are going to fight. We are going to cry. We are going to do nothing but make sure that that gun control law is gone. We were ready. All of us were starting our new life. It was taken away from them. So we're taking away gun control from America.
So could the United States be on the brink of a revolution? A shift in mentalities? After every mass killing in the US, the debate around gun control resurfaces. On one side, those who are in favor of stricter gun control. On the other, those who are categorically against it. For now, the NRA, the National Rifle Association, the gun lobby, has proved more powerful. It's unwavering in its support of President Trump. The owner of this gun shop is a loyal member of the NRA. We met him a few weeks ago.
The AR that I was shooting, as far as I'm concerned, that's a 200, 300-yard gun. That's pretty much it.
But is it expensive?
No, this is about, what, $1,000?
Florida has the most flexible laws in the U.S. in terms of firearms licenses. There's only one condition: not having a criminal record. The result? It's one of the states with the most guns in America. Florida holds the national record for gun licenses, 2 million. That's enough for 1 in every 10 citizens. This is the same type of gun used by the shooter in Parkland.
This is an AR-15. Basically a 23 round small bullet. It's what the military used.
For this gun enthusiast, changing the law is unthinkable. The Second Amendment of America's Constitution guarantees the right to carry for self-defense.
I don't think guns cause the problem. I think people are generally very responsible. That's where the laws come in. And if there's a failure in that, that's the problem. I mean, guns in the hands of proper, law-abiding, good citizens are never an issue.
The NRA has 5 million members and supported Donald Trump's presidential campaign. It's a powerful lobby with a $250 million annual budget. Up against them, it's hard to know if students from Parkland will change anything. Everyday life has resumed in the Florida town. Cora Journey, who we met in front of the school in the aftermath of the shooting, has her son back home, unharmed. He's tattooed the name of his friend Joaquim on his forearm.
Right, I was really struggling this last few days.
I mean, ever since I got my tattoo, it's been good. Joaquin Oliver, I've known him since I was 6 or 7 years old. He's one of my closest friends, you know, and I'm not the only one that has a tattoo. Everyone in his close-knit friend group, there's about 10 of us, we all have them. Some of us have it over our heart, some of us have it right here on our forearm.
It's a new era. A page has been turned. These kids are taking it upon themselves. I think it's an awesome movement. I think that we are going to see change. Can't be like that. It needs to stop. We need tougher regulations.
Oh, this movement it's great because we do need more regulations on guns. But in terms of cutting out guns, that's a different story. A lot of people in this country have guns just purely for self-defense, and to take away something like that from them is too much.
Armed with their hashtag Never Again, the students from all over the country carry on fighting. And they'll soon be taking their protest right in front of the White House.
Well, that report was by Sophie Prichodny and Flora Despont. We're joined now by Flora Despont in Miami. Hello to you, Flora. Thanks for joining us. I want to start by asking you, is this a watershed moment? Can these students, the country's youth, bring about real change when it comes to gun reform?
It certainly feels like it. The students are ready to do whatever it takes to make a real change in the United States. And that's what we feel and that's what we see. You have to understand that last week, Trump, right after the shooting, in his first speech, didn't even talk about gun control. And right now he's considering major changes for someone who has been supporting the NRA, the National Rifle Association, for a very long time. Part of those changes are to ban the accessories that allow to make a legal weapon become an assault rifle. He's also talking about more background checks and to raise the age to 21 to buy an assault rifle, which is right now the age is 18. This last change was a clear split with the NRA because they responded to that saying that by doing such regulation, that would take away from young adult, their right, the constitutional right to self-protection.
Well, these students in Florida are really driving the movement. They met the Florida governor. Will that change anything on a local level?
So on the local level, the students went to Tallahassee, to the Capitol. They went there to talk to the lawmakers, to the legislators. They met with Rick Scott, the governor of Florida, as well as the president of the Senate, Mr. Negron. And what they said is that they also felt that there was a wave of change. Now, what they were asking for was a complete ban on assault rifle, and that's not really what the legislators are going to be working on. Again, they're going to be working on moving the age to buy a weapon to 21. They're going to be working on more background checks on how to make the schools safe. And those are, for the students, big steps. Now, none of the, Rick Scott and the president of the Senate did not commit to anything. They said they will try their best. They didn't make any commitment. So the students said that they're just going to have to be fighting harder. And, this is not a massive win, but this is a big step.
And finally, Flora, in a country where people really cling to the Second Amendment, are we starting to see a change in mentalities and attitudes towards guns?
Yes, we are. Here in Florida, which is a state that has always been defending its right to self-protection, its right to carry a gun, we start hearing discussions about taking measures and real steps to see a change. And there's been, hashtags going on the internet saying never again. And there's been people who are, defending the Second Amendment, posting videos of themselves cutting guns in two. We've seen things that are real could be shocking for people who have been defending their rights to carry a gun their whole life, but who are now starting to become the new normal. So yes, there is a real change, and the students are going to keep fighting for it.
OK, Flora Depont in Miami, thank you very much for that. Remember, you can watch that report again and all the others on our website, france24.com. Well, stay tuned. There's lots more news coming up. Don't go away.
Thank you.